We're told in today's psukim that Mordechai knew all that had transpired. Or Mordechai yada kol asher na'asa, and it seems as a result of this knowledge he tears his clothing and cries out ostensibly to God a great and bitter cry. What's interesting is the psukim don't specify what kol asher na'asa, all that was done or all that transpired, what exactly that's referring to. And there are a number of intriguing possibilities to try to broaden our understanding of why Mordechai was so touched by this. One, suggested by the Gra, is that Mordechai knew his role in this. In other words, that Mordechai knew that he was the catalyst for this campaign by Haman. And perhaps that's why Mordechai felt such a personal sense of bitterness and responsibility when he became aware of the words of the decree. Rashi suggests, based on the Medrash, that Kol Asher Na'asa means that Mordechai was prophetically informed of the spiritual roots of why these things were happening. In other words, of the various sins of the Jewish people, their participation in Achashverosh's party, their prostration to the idol during the time of the Emperor Nebuchadnezzar, during the Babylonian exile, that Kol Asher Na'asa means that Mordechai was not only aware of the temporal causes of this great crisis, but he was aware of the spiritual roots as well. Rabbi Yehoshua Bachrach, again a contemporary Israeli scholar, in his work Kitfuni L'Dered on Megillas Esther, suggests another possibility. That what Mordechai knew now is suddenly all of the apparently disconnected events which had led to this point in the Megillah. In other words, this strange saga of Esther being put in the king's palace. Now he understands, as in fact he will actually put it to Esther, now he understands that the point of all of these things is that now Esther is at a critical place where she has in her ability to be the agent of providence or to reject that role. And that's Kol Asher Na'asa. Suddenly Mordechai understood everything that had happened, perhaps going back all the way to Vashti's party, but certainly to the election of Esther. Now Mordechai saw it all kind of stretched out in front of him, and based on that, he then realizes what a critical time that they're in. That launches him into the display of sakva efer, of sackcloth and ashes, and perhaps that's why Mordechai does this presentation specifically right in front of the king's gate. In other words, his goal was to communicate to Esther, because he saw her as really the critical figure. So again, a number of possibilities of what exactly the Megillah is trying to communicate to us with the words Kol Asher Na'asa, all that was done. One possibility, according to the Gra, that Mordechai understood his role and his perhaps a feeling of guilt for his share in leading up to these events. Secondly, that Mordechai was informed prophetically of the spiritual roots of the current crisis, or that Mordechai had a moment of realization where he suddenly understood the sweep of all of the events which led up to Haman's decree.